Water polo is a team water sport. The game consists of 4 quarters in which the two teams attempt to score goals by throwing the ball into their opponent's goal, with the team with the most goals at the end of the game winning the match. A team consists of 6 field players and 1 goalkeeper in the water at any one time. In addition to this, teams may have substitute field players and 1 substitute goalkeeper who are not in the water. Water polo is typically played in an all-deep pool 7 feet deep, and players require stamina and endurance to play the game. Water polo is a contact sport. Minor fouls occur frequently and exclusion fouls are common. Special equipment for water polo includes a water polo ball, which floats on the water, numbered and colored caps, and goals, which either float in the water or are attached to the side of the pool. The game consists of swimming, using a special form of treading water known as the egg beater kick, throwing, catching, and shooting the ball. All throwing and catching must be done using a single hand. Each team consists of 6 field players and a goalkeeper. Except for the goalkeeper, players participate in both offensive and defensive roles. The game is thought to have originated in Scotland in the late 19th century as a sort of water rugby. William Wilson is thought to have developed the game during a similar period. The game thus developed with the formation of the London Water Polo League and has since expanded, becoming widely popular in various places around the world, including Europe, the United States, Brazil, China, Canada, and Australia. History. The history of water polo as a team sport began as a demonstration of strength and swimming skill in late 19th century England and Scotland, where water sports and racing exhibitions were a feature of county fairs and festivals. Men's water polo was among the first team sports introduced at the modern Olympic Games in 1900. Water polo is now popular in many countries around the world, notably Europe, the United States, Canada, and Australia. The present-day game involves teams of 7 players, with a water polo ball similar in size to a soccer ball but constructed of waterproof nylon. One of the earliest recorded antecedents of the modern game of water polo was a game of water handball, played at Bournemouth on the 13th of July 1876. This was a game between 12 members of the Premier Rowing Club, with goals being marked by 4 flags placed in the water near to the midpoint of Bournemouth Pier. The game started at 6 p.m. in the evening and lasted for 15 minutes, watched by a large crowd, with plans being made for play on a larger scale the following week. The rules of water polo were originally developed in the late 19th century in Great Britain by William Wilson. Wilson is believed to have been the first Baths master of the Arlington Baths Club in Glasgow. The first games of aquatic football were played at the Arlington in the late 1800s, with a ball constructed of India rubber. This water rugby came to be called water polo, based on the English pronunciation of the Balti word for ball, polo. Early play allowed brute strength wrestling and holding opposing players underwater to recover the ball. Players held underwater for lengthy periods usually surrendered possession. The goalie stood outside the playing area and defended the goal by jumping in on any opponent attempting to score by placing the ball on the deck. Rules. The rules of water polo cover the player, procedure, equipment and officiating of water polo. These rules are similar throughout the world, although slight variations to the rules do occur regionally and depending on the governing body. Governing bodies of water polo include FINA, the International Governing Organization for the Rules, the NCAA rules, which govern the rules for collegiate matches in the United States, the NFHS rules which govern the rules in high schools in the USA, and the IOC rules which govern the rules at Olympic events. Overview of gameplay. In a water polo team, 6 players are assigned to attacking and defensive roles, while 1 is assigned to the goalkeeping role. The primary aims of the field are to score goals and to prevent the other team scoring against their own team's goalkeeper. The goalkeeper's primary role is to stop shots from the opposing team going into his or her own goal. Gameplay broadly includes swimming with and without the ball, passing both to a player's hand and onto the water, and shooting. Fouls are very common, and these affect the gameplay, since the victim of a minor or a major foul will have the advantage of a free throw, while the victim of a penalty foul will have the opportunity of a one-on-one shot against the opposing team's goalkeeper. Positions. There are 7 players in the water from each team at one time. There are 6 players that play out and 1 goalkeeper. Unlike most common team sports, there is little positional play. Field players will often fill several positions throughout the game as situations demand. These positions usually consist of a center forward, a center back, the 2 wing players and the 2 drivers. Players who are skilled in all positions of offense or defense are called utility players. Utility players tend to come off of the bench, though this is not absolute. Certain body types are more suited for particular positions, and left-handed players are especially coveted on the right-hand side of the field, allowing teams to launch two-sided attacks. Offense. The offensive positions include 1 center forward, also called a setter, 2 wings, 2 drivers, and 1 point, positioned farthest from the goal. The wings, drivers and point are often called the perimeter players, while the whole set directs play. There is a typical numbering system for these positions in US NCAA Men's Division I polo. Beginning with the offensive wing to the opposing goalie's right side is called 1. The flat in a counterclockwise from 1 is called 2. Moving along in the same direction, the point player is 3, the next flat is 4, the final wing is 5, and the whole set is called 6. The most basic positional setup is known as a 3-to-3, so called because there are 2 lines in front of the opponent's goal. Another setup, used more by professional teams, is known as an arc, umbrella, or mushroom. Perimeter players form the shape of an arc around the goal, with the whole set as the handle, a stalk. Yet another option for offensive set is called a 4-to-2, a double hole. There are 2 center-forward offensive players in front of the goal. Double hole is most often used in man-up situations, or when the defense has only 1 skilled holdee, or to draw in a defender and then pass out to a perimeter player for a shot. The center sets up in front of the opposing team's goalie and scores the most individually. The center's position nearest to the goal allows explosive shots from close range. Another, albeit less common offense, is the motion offense, sometimes nicknamed washing machine offense, in which 2 weak-side perimeter players set up as a wing and a flat. The remaining 4 players swim in square pattern, in which a player swims from the point to the hole and then out to the strong side wing. The wing moves to the flat and the flat to the point. The weak side wing and flat then control the tempo of play and try to make passes into the player driving towards the center, who can then either shoot or pass. This form of offense is used when no dominate whole set is available, or the whole defense is too strong. It is also seen much more often in women's water polo, where teams may lack a player of sufficient size of strength to set up in the center. The best advantage to this system is it makes man coverage much more difficult for the defender and allows the offense to control the game tempo. better once the players are set up. The main drawback is this constant motion can be very tiring as well as somewhat predictable as to where the next pass is going to go. Defensive positions are often the same positionally, but just switched from offense to defense. For example, the center forward a whole set, who directs the attack on offense, on defense is known as hold-E, and guards the opposing team's center forward. Defense can be played man-to-man or in zones, such as a 2-to-4. It can also be played as a combination of the two in what is known as an M-drop defense, in which the point defender moves away his man into a zone in order to better defend the center position. In this defense, the two wing defenders split the area furthest from the goal, allowing them a clearer lane for the counter-attack if the team recovers the ball. Goalkeeper. The goalkeeper has the main role in blocking shots against the goal. He or she has to be able to jump out of the water, using little more than one's core and legs, and hold the vertical position without sinking into the water, all while tracking and anticipating a shot. The goal is 2.8 square meters in face area. The goalkeeper should also be a master of fast, effective lateral movement in the water as well as lightning-fast lunges out of the water to block a shot. Another key job that the goalkeeper is responsible for is guiding and informing his or her defense of imposing threats and gaps in the defense, and making helpful observations to identify a gap in the defense that the defenders may or cannot see. The goalkeeper is also the quarterback, as he or she usually begins the offensive play. It is not unusual for a goalie to make the assisting pass to a goal on a breakaway. The goalkeeper is given several privileges above those of the other players, but only if he or she is within the 5-meter area in front of his or her goal. The ability to punch the ball with a clenched fist. The ability to touch the ball with 2 hands. The ability to touch the bottom of the pool. In general, a foul that would cause an ejection of a field player might only bring on a 5-meter shot on the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper also has one limitation that other players do not have: he or she cannot cross the half-distance line. Also, if a goalkeeper pushes the ball underwater, the action will not be punished with a turnover like with field players, but with a penalty shot. Offense strategy. Advancing the ball. When the offense takes possession of the ball, the strategy is to advance the ball down the field of play and to score a goal. Players can move the ball by throwing it to a teammate or swimming with the ball in front of them. If an attacker uses his or her arm to push away a defending player and free up space for a pass or shot, the referee will rule a turnover and the defense will take possession of the ball. If an attacker advances inside the 2-meter line without the ball or before the ball is inside the 2-meter area, he is ruled offside and the ball is turned over to the defense. This is often overlooked if the attacker is well to the side of the pool or when the ball is at the other side of the pool. Setting the ball. The key to the offense is to accurately pass the ball into the center forward a whole set, positioned directly in front of the goal. Any field player may throw the whole set a wet pass. A wet pass is one that hits the water just outside the whole set's reach. A dry pass may also be used. This is where the whole set receives the ball directly in his hand and then attempts a shot at the cage. This pass is much more difficult because if the pass is not properly caught, the officials will be likely to call an offensive foul resulting in a change of ball possession. The whole set attempts to take possession of the ball, to shoot at the goal, or to draw a foul from his defender. A minor foul is called if his defender attempts to impede movement before the whole set has possession. The referee indicates the foul with one short whistle blow and points one hand to the spot of the foul and the other hand in the direction of the attack of the team to whom the free throw has been awarded. The whole set then has a reasonable amount of time to recommence play by making a free pass to one of the other players. The defensive team cannot hinder the whole set until the free throw has been taken, but the whole set cannot shoot a goal once the foul has been awarded until the ball has been played by at least one other player. If the whole set attempts a goal without the free throw, the goal is not counted and the defense takes possession of the ball, unless the shot is made outside the 5-meter line. As soon as the whole set has a free pass, the other attacking players attempt to swim away from their defenders towards the goal. The players at the flat position will attempt to set a screen for the driver. If a driver gets free from a defender, the player calls for the pass from the whole set and attempts a shot at the goal. Man-A. If a defender interferes with a free throw, holds or sinks an attacker who is not in possession or splashes water into the face of an opponent, the defensive player is excluded from the game for 20 seconds, known as a kick-out, or an ejection. The attacking team typically positions 4 players on the 2-meter line, and 2 players on 5-meter line, passing the ball around until an open player attempts a shot. Other formations include a 3-to-3 or arc. The 5 defending players try to pressure the attackers, block shots and prevent a goal being scored for the 20 seconds while they are a player down. The other defenders can only block the ball with one hand to help the goalie. The defensive player is allowed to return immediately if the offense scores, or if the defense recovers the ball before the 20 seconds expires. Defense strategy. On defense, the players work to regain possession of the ball and to prevent a goal in their own net. The defense attempts to knock away or steal the ball from the offense or to commit a foul in order to stop an offensive player from taking a goal shot. The defender attempts to stay between the attacker and the goal, a position known as inside water. Goalkeeper. Even with good backup from the rest of the defenders, stopping attacks can prove very difficult if the goalkeeper remains in the middle of the goal. The most defensible position is along a semicircular line connecting the goalposts and extending out in the center. Depending on the ball carrier's location, the goalie is positioned along that semicircle roughly a meter out of the goal to reduce the attacker's shooting angle. The goalkeeper stops using his or her hands to tread water once the opponent enters at about the 7-meter mark and starts treading water much harder, elevating the body, arms ready for the block. Finally, the goalie tries to block the ball down, which is often hard for the longer reaches but prevents an offensive rebound and second shot, as is the case with other defensive players. A goalkeeper who aggressively fouls an attacker in position to score can be charged with a penalty shot for the other team. The goalkeeper can also be ejected for 20 seconds if a major foul is committed. Also inside the 5-meter mark, the goalie can swing at the ball with a closed fist without being penalized. Advantage rule. If an offensive player, such as the center forward, has possession of the ball in front of the goal, the defensive player tries to steal the ball to keep the center from shooting or passing. If the defender cannot achieve these aims, he may commit a foul intentionally. The whole set then is given a free throw but must pass off the ball to another offensive player, rather than making a direct shot at the goal. Defensive perimeter players may also intentionally cause a minor foul and then move toward the goal, away from their attacker, who must take a free throw. This technique, called sloughing, allows the defense an opportunity to double-team the whole set and possibly steal the inbound pass. The referee may refrain from declaring a foul, if in his judgment this would give the advantage to the offender's team. This is known as the advantage rule.